everybody. Welcome to the Cologne podcast. We're starting something different.
Yeah.
Today is our Tuesday to play.
That's right. Happy Tuesday to you.
Oh, God. Mike comes up with some of these things. He's like, then we'll have happy hour Wednesday. And
I didn't say that. There's no alliteration to that, Ryan. What Ryan's trying to say is, I'm Mike, he's Ryan, and we're just two best friends giving our uneducated opinion on the world of fragrances.
That we do.
Yes. Today, Ryan, we're taking a look at an oldie but a goldie.
Created in 2012.
Versace's Eros.
There you go. Who does call that?
Yeah, EDT. And this is the 2018 formulation. Actually, I'm guessing it's a 2017 formulation because I got it first quarter 2018. So, you know, we got that old batch. I know how much you guys love batches. Well, this is one son of a batch because it's the 2017/early 2018 formulation. Let me tell you what Roachburn has to say about Versace Eros on Fragrantica. He says, I work with a guy who wears this every day, and I don't know if he doesn't know how to apply it or it's just a sweet mess. But after smelling him every morning, I had to ask him what he was wearing just so I could stay far, far away from it.
Good God.
I guess Roachburn doesn't like this fragrance.
His name is something skunky as Roachburn, but he can't just deal with a pretty fragrance, apparently.
Yeah. Speaking of pretty fragrances, Ryan.
Nice segue.
Not really, because we're about to do our one-night stand review of Ralph's Club. And from what I remember, it was not a pretty fragrance.
No.
Hit that music, Todd.
Yeah. One night stand review.
Well, after waking up in a backwards robe and a mask from the 18th century, Ryan, how do you feel about spending the night with Ralph's Club?
Good Lord.
Did you felt like you got clubbed by Ralph?
Yeah, I definitely got clubbed with something because, man, it is a pretty scent. It's clean.
Here's what we need to be careful of because, you know, we're at Cologne Podcast that every single episode we're trying out a new fragrance. When we do something like that, Ryan, I think we're going to be guilty of when we just hit a fragrance that we feel is generic. Yeah. We're instantly turned off by it.
And that may be our bias here.
Yes, it is. It's the fact that we hit it. It was more of a safe, middle of the road, generic fragrance. And so we were turned off, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it smells like a million different polos I've ever smelled in my life.
Sure. A more clean version of one. It's a little sweeter than a polo fragrance. It's a little cleaner than a polo fragrance.
Yeah.
So in that way, if you've got all the polo colognes on your desk and you're looking for it, I'm going to say this is the most badass bottle they've ever done.
I think so too.
If you're a huge proponent to the brand, this is a good buy.
Yeah.
But because it's so generic, it just didn't vibe with us. We're just looking for something more. And since it's like, hey, here's a new line of fragrances from Ralph Lauren, you smell it and you go, new to Ralph Lauren. Not really new to the fragrance community.
It's just so generic. It's just like a piece of white bread with mayonnaise spread over it.
Well, I think it's a little more enjoyable than that. But it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing incredible. It's safe. And sometimes that's what you want. It smells good. I like it more than I like a typical polo fragrance.
I'll tell you what this does for me. And scents like this, I just got to say, I got to get off my chest because it just occurred to me what I feel, okay?
Please, go ahead.
When I wear scents like this, and again, he's right, it is a clean scent. It's not off-putting in a way, but it's so clean and so safe. It almost feels like a chore to wear because I'm not going to enjoy it at all throughout the day. Like, not even the slightest. So if for me to force myself to wear stuff like that, it's just a huge chore. It's like a second job to me.
Wow. That's I like some first world problems right there, right?
Well, because if I buy something that smells good, I want to enjoy it, number one. And then number two, I want the secondary thing of it to be that other people enjoy it. And so it works for me kind of scent. I feel like if I have something like that on, like I got to work for it. Like I got to present myself a certain way. I don't know. It's just so generic. I'm just not a fan.
I think the thing too is we're kind of victims of the hype.
Yeah.
A new fragrance, it's coming out. It's a new line of scents.
Yeah.
From Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
You know, then you see the fucking bottle.
And it's sick.
And it's a sexy ass bottle. Yeah. And you're like, God, this could be amazing. You know, all the adverts are coming out. It's like you're peeping through the dream hole, just looking. You're seeing the rays of sunlight shining through. You hear the choral verses ringing through the churches. But then, meh.
When you see the bottle,
yes.
Like what kind of scent do you think it's going to be?
Leather.
Like dark, right?
Dark. Mysterious.
Same thing. That's what I feel, but it's none of that.
No.
And because of that, that makes it even more off-putting to me.
It's kind of like the Paco Rabanne robot.
Yeah, that one.
Phantom.
Way over the place.
It's not congruent with what the actual scent is.
Yeah, not at all.
And good Lord, I mean, they really missed the mark. But on this one, it doesn't make sense to me. This one should have they should have saved that bottle for some badass fucking leather fragrance that like comes out that's dark.
You know, think of it this way too. Isn't it supposed to be like a flask look?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't it have had some type of like
boozy elements?
Yeah, it has none of that. That's why I thought it was going to be something dark, either dark leathery like that or dark boozy, whatever.
Yeah.
It's safe.
There was some room to really knock it home, and I felt like it was a little phoned in.
I agree.
Okay.
There you go. Let's get the hell out of this bed.
I'm going to roll out quietly. And
I don't even care if the neighbors see me.
I'm not even going to slide my socks on. Just throw the shoes on. I'm out the back door. Okay.
All right. There's our one night stand review of Ralph Lauren's Ralph's Club.
Woohoo.
All right. Let's get into our scent of the day, Versace Eros. You want me to hit it up?
Yeah, my man. So the reason why I have the older formulation, Ryan, as you can tell, this is one of these vials from Scentbird.
Yes.
And this was probably one of the last fragrances that I got from them before I canceled my subscription in 2018. And this is well before I learned that, wow, they really overcharge per milliliter of a designer fragrance.
What do you think so far, though? Smell of it?
We may need a new sample of it.
That's what I'm scared of, because
it smells kind of, whew.
Do you think it's okay or no?
I don't know. When I'm smelling it, it kind of has a pickle smell to it. That can't be right.
Well, I'm trying to compare it because my wife's brother's husband, his name is Jeff. He wears Versace Eros, but I don't know if it's this one or the Eau de Parfum. And when he gave me that bottle, it didn't smell like this.
I'm a little worried about it. Now, let me say this. So basically, they come in a little tube.
Yeah.
And that tube, you know, you're not going to hit any sunlight with it. But not only that, but I kept it in a drawer. So I would assume, I mean, it wasn't really...
It should have its integrity. I think it's fine.
It should, because the house is temperature controlled.
And he keeps it at 68 the entire time.
68 all day, air day.
Unless it's today. His AC's on the fritz, actually.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting the world know, right?
He's like, can we go over to my house real quick before we do this recording? He's like, I'll have it on my mind. I won't be fresh.
Yeah. The AC, it's a long story. We're not going to get into it. This is Cologne Podcast. But I will say, I'm
sorry.
Good Lord, that was like the longest freaking can opening I've ever heard. It was like, sound like you were freaking opening up keys to the Holy Grail over here.
Oh, God. Okay, the initial burst of it is kind of like sour, like you said, a little pickly. I did not like this opening on it whatsoever.
I'm scared. I feel like we need to get a new sample.
I say we do this. We run with what we got. We give our opinion. If we have to, we'll do another episode down the road, but surely it can't be this. Or I'll tell you what we do. Let's review this now. Let's get a sample of this and the Eau de Parfum. Yes. Then we'll just do an episode on comparing the difference. But what I'm smelling now, I do not like.
No. I mean, on the card, it's really chill, but on my skin, it's kind of sour smelling. That's my concern.
Yeah, I'm smelling it too, but I think the integrity of it should be fine. If it's been in your house the entire time, it should be fine.
It does have kind of a minty smell. I know that's one of the top notes, so maybe I messed up by seeing that before I'm smelling it, but I'm getting a hint of the mint, and maybe that is the issue.
Good Lord. It's drawn down to something almost dingy to me.
It's a strange one.
Wow. This is such a popular one, too. I mean, the trend level on just this EDT is crazy.
Yeah. We were kind of looking at that, and it stays pretty redlining.
Yeah.
It kind of goes up and down a little bit.
This is
but
a
it's
super popular one.
It never hits a really hard dip.
The other reason why I'm concerned about this actually is because I can remember. So this has been a couple of years though, but I don't know if it surely wasn't the. I know it wasn't the Eau de Parfum because so a couple of years ago, me and my wife were like in Dillard's, and I remember picking up the bottle of Versace Eros because it's got the Medusa.
Yeah, it's a cool looking bottle.
It is a badass looking bottle. I remember smelling it, and it smelled kind of a little soft and sweet to me. This is kind of like a little sour and bitter at the top.
Yeah, man.
Because I remember she liked it, but she ended up getting me Versace Dylan Blue at the time.
Well, another thing I'm worried about too, looking at it, is these Scentbird atomizers aren't. I don't know that I wore it as much as missing. It could have been leaking. Air could have got to it.
Yeah.
A lot of things could have happened to this fragrance. Another reason why, if we're going to get a sample, we're getting it from myfragrancesamples.com. Whenever that thing comes in, that atomizer's been wrapped 100 times with Teflon tape.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes in, it's airtight, baby.
Man, if this is what it's supposed to smell like and people like this, I'm really like puzzled.
Well, it's drying down. It's not so sour now, but I am getting like that strong mint. And I am not a big mint fan, at least on fragrances.
I'm not vibing this whatsoever.
Even though I said I wasn't going to push the email on this episode, we got to know. We got to know what you think about this episode. Are we doing a mistake by putting this out? Should we have just thrown this in the trash can and moved on?
Absolutely not. We roll with it. We can correct this in the future.
We're just going straight steak and beans, huh?
Straight steak and beans.
Yeah, a little shout out to our buddy Juan over at Fat Boy Fragrance.
All right. Who's wearing this?
Well, I know the stereotype.
I got me a big old stereotype over here.
Yeah?
Yeah, what you got?
Is he wearing a white thong? Spraying this in his face 100 times?
Nope, not even.
He's listening to Venga Boys and doing the moonwalk.
Hey, nobody needs to disrespect Venga Boys, okay?
Boom, 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 boom.
I send Myke videos of Jeremy Fragrance dancing to that song all the time. It's like my favorite video of him.
When he knows I'm down, he knows exactly what brings me back to my bright, exciting self.
To get a little off subject, people really do kind of go ham about Jeremy Fragrance, and I will say they're correct. He talks about like the same 5 things like over and over and over and over again, but
he's entertaining.
That dude is seriously like the top echelon of like entertainment for the fragrance community.
100%. Everyone knows who he is, and everyone has an opinion, and that's exactly what he wants. He's like the Kanye of the fragrance community.
I'll put it this way. He is way smarter than what people perceive him.
And I think he's playing a persona.
I think he is too.
I've never met him in person, but I've seen sometimes where he's been caught on film.
Yeah.
And you would think he comes across as this big, like, arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
But on film, like BTS type stuff, the stuff that I've seen of him, he's not acting like an arrogant asshole. But the guy's tall and he's attractive. I get it. Am I jealous?
Absolutely.
Maybe a little bit.
We walk around wearing banana hammocks like that, we get the law called on us out here.
100%.
Bible Belt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably haven't seen my abs since I got that chest x-ray. When I got pneumonia a few years ago.
Oh, God. So, all right, back to it.
Yeah, okay.
We had to get off something for a minute.
All right, well, hit me with your stereotypical Versace Eros wear.
I just feel like the type of person that will wear this, and man, I may be like really about to like grind somebody's gears real quick, but
when has that stopped you before, Ryan?
It's never stopped me. Let me preface this with that I am not a perfect human being. I am not attractive. I am not good looking.
Whoa. Don't be so self-deprecating, Ryan.
So, but I feel like this kind of fragrance, it's for like the person that like, okay, so when I was younger, I used to work for a third-party company that like did medical paperwork and stuff.
Yeah.
To, like transcribe everything that the caseworkers did and stuff like that. It feels like that's the type of person that would wear this, that like does paperwork all day, wants to be safe in the office, wearing something just kind of generic.
Really?
Yeah,
That's what you get out of this?
Generic scent for a generic ass job I used to work. Yes.
Man, I don't get that at all.
Yes.
Now, it's dried down pretty quick, but what it kind of reminds me of, it's sweet, but not too sweet. It's more clean with a little sweetness, a little mintiness. It's been forever since I've smelled Le Male, but I would assume it's giving me a little bit of Le Male vibes.
Not me. In fact, funny that you mentioned that. I literally took a shower last night and I had my little bottle of Le Male. I hadn't used them forever since we started this. I was like, oh, I wonder how this smells. They're nowhere alike.
Really? Okay.
No, not even the same stratosphere.
Well, yeah, more than likely not. I'm just going off of like third party because I'm only accustomed to you wearing Le Male, and it's been probably 3 or 4 years since you've wore it.
Yeah. Man, what I smell, I wonder if brother's husband, I wonder if he got the EDP, because when he brought the bottle out to me and I smelled it just not even a few months ago, I was like, man, that smells really good.
Knowing those cats, it would have to be the EDP.
I think it is. If not, then I do think there is something wrong with this scent that we got.
Because I would assume, he may have bought it for himself, but I'm assuming that John bought it for him, right?
I'm not sure.
In that case, assuming that, I would assume he would have gotten the EDP because he appreciates fragrances.
Well, I don't know. John is definitely like the bougie. He's just like Sarah. Okay. Yeah. He's just like Sarah. And then Jeff is just like me. We're just kind of like, this is safe. I think.
Yeah. You're throwing on Enigma at night, Raja Dove.
Prior to this.
Okay.
That's what I was. I was just Acquedizio. Yeah. That was it pretty much. Or, my wife bought me Dylan Blue. It was just a safe thing. Just threw it on.
Now my dude's wearing Scandal during the summer or Fetish, not Scandal. Splashing on some Fetish. You were like, man, I laced up on it the other night.
Man, it's gnarly. Can't wait to do that episode. Episode 69.
69.
Get ready, folks.
Yeah. That's just how it fell on the board, right? Fetish fell on episode 69.
This right here, it's a safe bet. It's not terrible. It's a clean scent, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're like running into the same problem like we did with Ralph's Club. And
I actually prefer this over Ralph's Club, except for the pickle opening, which is probably...
I don't like Ralph's Club.
I don't know. I'm careful with this one. Again, thecolognepodcast@gmail.com. We're just letting this thing roll, and we're going to give it to you.
Just let it roll, and just make sure to write Myke, because prior to this, he was like, man, I really want these episodes to be banging. I want everybody to be freaking hyped. I want it to just be the most overproduced thing ever.
Not overproduced, but
well, no,
people...
What I'm trying to say is like, he is like really invested, and so am I, but he's really invested in wanting to improve. So I know that when he smelled this, he's like immediately going in his little, I see the dead hamster rolling around in his head.
Yeah.
He's like, oh God.
Yeah, because I know that we have committed listeners. Look, if you're in on this, you're 64 episodes in. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Plus all the fragrance philosophy episodes and random sample bags.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in this over 80 now. So I want to give you something good.
I agree.
We don't want to just phone these in.
We don't. So that's why we're a little perplexed on this one. But let's let it ride, and then we'll do another episode where we compare this to the EDP, and we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll also get, and who knows, maybe those 2017 batches had that little pickle up top.
Okay, Myke, skip it.
Sample it.
Buy it.
What are you going to do, Ryan?
Well, if it's the Scentbird version, I'm definitely probably going to skip it until we get our hands on another decant of this to make sure that we're correct in what we're smelling.
Yeah.
For right now, as the time stands, I'm just going to say skip it for me.
Don't get me wrong. I know earlier I was kind of hating on Scentbird. I think it's just the price. The value proposition of it, it's a little high. You're paying top dollar for some of these scents that you can get at a cheaper price and get more volume at like myfragrancesamples.com. And also he seals these decants really well.
Yeah.
And like I said, this thing was probably leaking, probably exposed to the air.
Yeah.
That's why we typically don't do it, but I was just kind of digging through the old fragrance drawer. And I said, oh, look, I got some Versace Eros. It's kind of a popular one. Let's do it. So I'm sorry. Let us know what you think. But either way, check out myfragrancesamples.com because he's going to have a more reliable vial of Versace Eros.
And our opinion.
Yes.
Not a fact.
Our humble opinion.
Last thing I need is Scent Bird to come knocking on our door with old Cubano videos telling us what we're going to be doing with ourselves.
Oh my goodness. They don't have time for little idiots like us. They're too busy making $25 on Luna Rosa Carbon. You can buy a 50 mil for that.
There's a CEO somewhere over there going, by the end of the day, make sure they're homeless, penniless, and jobless.
Yeah. They're like, let's make an example of these two uneducated friends from East Texas.
All right, folks. That's today's first episode, Versace Eros. On our next episode that you'll be tuning into, we'll be doing Versace Eros Flame. And that one we do have a fresh decant of that we can trust.
That's right. 2021. I've already smelled it.
This fucking cheater, man.
Well, no.
Oh.
Because I got it at a department store. I got the sample from a department store.
Okay.
This was whenever we had first started the podcast. And I went in, and this was the time where I was watching all the YouTubers, and they're like, buy this, buy that, buy this.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, I'm going, I can't. So I'm like begging the lady, hey, can I please get a little 1 ml sample? That's what this is from. So I did have her spray it on a card at the store.
Yeah.
I have smelled that. But then immediately I was like, I'm going to wait. Right when we started. And even then I said, let's hold the integrity of this podcast.
There's security footage somewhere. Some security guards watching going, he's spraying his ass.
Yeah. I'm layering them all over my neck. That dude probably has the driest skin this side of the Mississippi.
I'm going to have to put that up on our Instagram, but there's a video. It's security footage, and they're like watching this guy try on literally every single fragrance at the counter. And I don't mean try. I mean like lace up with every single one of them.
I mean,
every
his
part of
skin
his
is
body.
drenched in it.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
He's a walking like flammable hazard.
It's like those, you know, those going back to Jeremy Fragrance where he like sprays his face 9 times with something.
Yeah.
And it's like just dripping with fragrance.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, almost to where I feel like he knew he was being watched. There's no way you spray yourself like this guy's going.
I don't know, man. That dude he was so chill about it. He just casually walked out. I have no doubt it was real.
He's applying it as if I would apply Aventus.
Just all over.
Oh, just going ham. I wore it yesterday. That's for a different story in a different episode.
Well, until that episode, spray it up.
Spray it up, y'all.